Hey guys, Kane here, and in this video we're gonna check one of my dual tower replays against somebody in my own realm. Or rather, he was in my realm but he went to side and he will be returning pretty soon. Now, the thing about this fight is I've actually lost a fight against this guy I think 2 or 3 months ago before he went to side, and at that moment I don't think I was actually fielding mages, or I was starting to feel them and he just crushed my burst side or something like that, and he just nearly flawless my entire field. And he was 500,000 core power less. So he was catching up in terms of core power. However, in this one particular fight, I kinda nearly flawlessed him. I lost a couple of Rakan archers and I lost a couple of heroes. I think I've lost, yeah, I basically just lost my buffers and yeah, basically just buffers and a couple of Rakan archers. So as I do these videos, I'm more or less just gonna inspect what he has, more probably show what I have as well to more or less have some sort of a difference in between the armies and stuff like that, and more or less see what he did bad or what I did good. So, from the first glance, we see that his pet is 4 levels lower. So, pretty much that 4 levels lower pet is what makes up the difference in our core power. As if he would have the pet 4 levels higher, essentially our core powers would be almost exactly the same. Now, in terms of dragons, I've checked this dragon before. He has 3 greater abilities in terms of Dreambreaker, Aura Blast, and Draconic. So his archers, more or less, should be doing a bit more damage, and even his heroes would be doing some more damage, just because the Aura Blast would increase the damage taken by my army by a percentage. And also his draconic talents is a bit higher than mine in terms of the dragon's power. However, I'm not gonna check all of like these skills and the levels and stuff like that. We're just gonna be working off what he has upgraded, and he has upgraded for the attack speed on the army, which is not very effective. Now, if we check mine, have an Azure Dragon with Noble Blood, and the only greater ability is the Dragon Scale. And the ability of my choice was Protection on the level 3 skill, and now I'm leveling for the Destruction to increase the healing, and probably then I'll be leveling Affliction to 20, and essentially after that I will probably be swapping to this to level 3 or 3 star or stuff like that, whichever way you want to call it, like talent 3, whenever I'm able. And my talents are a bit lower than his by like 13,000, so that's a few levels below, like 10, 15, 20 levels below his. Now, in terms of the army, his Blade Masters have a little bit less HP than mine. In terms of stats, we have similar evade chance. He has, I think, 8% or 6% higher crit hit resistance. So this is, I suppose, pretty decent. However, physical resistance is the same, or he has the value higher by 1. However, the magic resistance is quite a bit lower than what I have, and the thing about Blade Masters is that their friggin' weakness, or the major weakness of the Rakan Blade Masters, at least on our core power, is that they die from magic damage. Like any magic damage that is thrown their way and they are instantly destroyed. So this value being 67 means that the mages will do a lot of damage to the Blade Masters. Now, if we would quickly glance on mine, you can see the magic resistance is 76, and the physical resistance, yeah, as I said, was lower by just 1 value. Now, the Rakan archers, pretty much the same as mine. I think a little bit less attack, but the health is a lot more than mine. Now, in terms of the stats, he has a bit more accuracy, he has less attack speed, he has more crit rate than me by a few percent. However, he has 60% less critical hit damage than me, and like this value is pretty goddamn low. And also the resistances are freaking low. Like look, 39 and 30. Like I'm not even leveling my Rakan archers in friggin' resistance or anything, but they have 55 and 56. As well as look, 223% crit damage. Like I'm not entirely sure how they're getting the defenses, or I have like literally two stats in offense. Probably because I have two stats in offense and friggin' two stats in defense. Pretty much my luck in equipment, I suppose. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, that's my luck in equipment. Yeah, we're not even gonna comment on that. So going down towards the heroes now, before I even begin to comment on the heroes, we have to more or less check the formation. So, the thing that he went with this formation is that he went 3 Blade Master squads in the front and he placed gladiators in between the Rakan squads. Now, the thing about the gladiators is that I tell many people you cannot place heroes frontline until your gladiators are strong enough. Now, the thing that you notice on these gladiators is that they are severely underleveled. Like, for example, we are Castle 48, as you can see here. So, the highest level we can currently have on our heroes are level 63. So, he has frontline heroes on level 55. The Bane, the Virion, Solaris is level 60. So, I think it's okay-ish, but it's not that still as good as it can be. Now, if we would take into consideration, let's say, his Virion, right? His Virion, friggin' 3 million, hell, 3 million. I don't even know how the hell his Virion has 3 million health. Like, if we would check my Virion, right? My Virion has like almost 12 million. That's 4 times almost. If we would check his Bane, right? 7 million HP. My Denji has 17 million, and I'm not even fielding them on the front line because they are still squishy. And the thing is that I'm gonna be trying to do is I'm gonna be trying 3 gladiator heroes or paladins in terms of Virion or stuff like that. Then literally full burst heroes with Rufio on the same side and stuff like that, just exploding one side so the gladiators will uh, only have to take damage for a very short amount of time, and probably that would be like more of the reason how the gladiators would be able to tank the front line, at least at the current stage for me and like my own thoughts. Like if you would feel these front line and you wouldn't carry an insane amount of damage behind them to wipe out an entire line, those gladiators are just morale boosts. And the thing about morale boost in terms of like this formation, right? Basically, you have to think about what the enemy has in front of your own formation. So if he's placing Bane here, or let's just quickly jump into the fight and check and exit. So I'm gonna pause the video. We got Virion and Solaris as well as Balrog on my burst side. Now, the thing about this is that you have to take into consideration morale boosting during the fights. Since I will not have any effects during the fight, whenever I will show it in a couple of minutes, the thing about it is that when a troop gets morale boosted, it gets 50% attack speed. Then it gets this. Where is that thing? I'm not sure if Rakan archers have it. I don't think Rakan archers have it, or I thought they had it before. 1 second. So only Blade Masters have it. So during the morale boost, the damage is increased by 30%. So A morale boost equals to 50% more attack speed equals to damage boost by 30%. And also you have to keep in mind that we have Varian maxed out on that particular skill, and we're getting 45% reduction in terms of damage. So giving us a morale boost is basically making us tankier, doing more damage, and all those kinds of things. So that is like one of the reasons why you don't want to place any gladiator heroes if they are weak. And that is like exactly the point why I don't place mine if I want to beat people stronger than me. And that is like the reason, like the core reason as to why. So in terms of this fight, as you can see, I'm gonna make the fight a bit slower. I casted my Valerie first, and as you can see, his backline, without even a roofie or stuff like that, his backline is already almost down by just a couple of fireballs. I know I casted Avril second, and then I casted Cleo's Black Hole. The thing about Cleo's Black Hole is that it has insane value in just terms of this fight alone, or at least against Rakan. The thing about Cleo's Black Hole is if you cast it and somebody tries to ail any of the Rakan archers, and if the entire squad is caught in the Black Hole, you will nullify the entire archer ail effect and nullify any morale boost that the archer squad may get from a hero dying. So basically, you can just literally cuck the entire side of the field, which I have done, and that is why I lost almost nothing on this side of the field, because he placed like 3 archer squads, his burst DPS, and I just countered it by literally a rotation of my skills and my DPS heroes. And as you can see, like, I have my entire field already alive. Now, let's check on the mistakes of his heroes. Now, if we go down the list of the heroes, he has Mako. Now, Mako is useless as a DPS. He's just a buffer. So basically, you have to do Mako as a buffer hero. So for example, having this Eagle Eye, it's not going to do damage. Having these equipment, it's not going to do damage. You have to build him either as a buffer or you have to build him as a stat booster. So for example, I can show you my Mako. My Mako is level 51. He's just a stat booster and I don't really invest into anything more. So I have like a buffing necklace, I have a buffing ring, stuff like that. Like he's no more than just a buffer. Now if we can check the damages done, I'm not even like Mako 4.5 million. Like 4.5 million is nothing compared to the damages that I'm seeing on my side of the board. So, like, he wasted 10 levels on Mako, and those 10 levels could just become like level 63 Bane and probably close to level 60 Varian, which would be a lot more important than a friggin' useless unit on level 60. Then he has Avalon, which is level 50. I think this is one of the few generals which you may want to level a bit higher so they may not die in an instant. That would be the same with Talk, just want to level him up a little bit higher. Avalon, Alana. The thing about these few heroes is that if you level them up, they gain a bit more HP and they just don't die by single arrow landing on them or a single AoE landing on them. Otherwise, if you just keep them level 50, they have like enough HP to only survive one attack and they just die in an instant. So he also has a pretty decent Rufio from what I can tell. He has a tier 9 wave power, he has a 5-star artifact, his equipment are pretty insane, his stats are pretty goddamn weak. Now, this Rufio, mind you, has a tier 9 wave power, right? Tier 9 wave power, 63% more attack. Now, if we can just exit this fight in just a second. Now, I don't have a wave power on my Rufio, right? I only field, I think, 18 heroes. So I have a couple of prisms which I cannot use, so I use them for hero attack. And look, my Rufio doesn't even have the wave power prism, and he already has, I think, similar amount of attack than him, even if it's 2 levels higher. I mean, he's wasting experience on useless heroes instead of investing on his DPS heroes. And that is pretty goddamn important lesson in terms of PvP. Like, you have to manage your experience. Like, look, Bazrik 63, Sizo 63, Nora 63, Valerie 63, Avril 63. Any gladiator and paladin that I have, which is walking forward and taking damage or healing or tanking, 63. And that uh, transforms into the damage done in the rankings. As you can see, even Kitano is doing some damage. Damage taken, I have Kitano tanking some, but if they're not taking damage, they're not gonna appear in this ranking. And then I have healing done in terms of like Turtle and others. Now, to show a better example in terms of healing, let's go against another fight against, I think, a Kraken on a new server. So 1 second. You have like these heroes, turtle healing, all that kind of stuff. I don't think I have a fight close to me where the paladins and the gladiators actually pulled off like 200 or 300 million healings and just solo carried almost the entire fight through healing and stuff like that. However, the majority of mistakes from Tanner is mainly just bad management of his hero experience and kind of a bad formation due to his gladiators being too weak. Now, the thing again, you cannot field gladiators in like a formation like this, right? You have to field all of those gladiators onto one side, and you have to field majority of your proper DPS in that one side and explode that one side so your gladiators are tanking in as little as possible time while your other army is trying to survive. That is how most of those formations are doing. And for example, the simplest of way it could be is first Avril into Rufio into something like that, or Valerie Avril into Rufio if Rufio survives and something like that. And what he did was not even close to that, or I just exploded everything, or they were on different sides of the field. Now, I don't think I need to get into skills. I think he leveled majority of those skills properly. Yeah, Warhorn, Arden Tower, stuff like that. I think he leveled most of them properly, so I don't really need to get into most of those skills, abilities, and his Valerie, I do believe is decent, but his attack value is pretty goddamn low. Now, I don't even know why his attack values are so low. Like, look, his Valerie is level 61, 1.4 million. And just before we go, we check tier 9 Arcanist's Fury. So if we go towards mine, have level 63, have tier 9 Arcanist's Fury, and I have almost, I think, 800,000 attack more than his. So this kind of a difference in attack is pretty much what can easily be winning the fight, like the HP, the stuff like that. The thing about it is I don't even have yet the next tier in my reliquary upgraded. So I just need 20 more quintessence and I get a decent amount of an attack percent and also a decent amount of magic damage dealt. Now I think this 35% just gonna give me like 50,000 attack, even if that, on most of the heroes. However, I think the magic damage dealt, the percentage like this below, will make my mages insanely powerful. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Um, I do believe I checked majority of his formation. I talked about the heroes and stuff like that. I do believe his heroes were decent. It's just that the poor management of his experience made majority of his gladiators quite weak, and his formation was pretty much Now, I don't want to insult a formation like this, but this formation is pretty goddamn awful. The, the thing about it is, he has Rufio on the one side with almost no DPS to follow it up. So basically, he split Rufio on one side, Nora in the middle, then he has Valerie and Avril in the right side, and he has like a couple of archers in between. The thing about this is, even if Rufio would jump on this side, right? This Rufio is not going to do anything versus majority of the formation. Now, if you're fighting a weaker target, sure, the Rufio can do something. Now, this burst side, you can easily counter it by just destroying anything that you have in this particular section. And in this particular section being, you have Valerie, you have Avalon, Avril, Denji, and also Alana. Like, even Yip is in here, so you have majority of the core heroes which you kind of need to remove all in the same place. And again, if we would just quickly go back into the fight, let's check how fast his heroes and his army is dropping on the left side. So we have to take a look. His variant is already in invincibility. His Balrog invincibility, his Yip invincibility, Avalon invincibility. His Balrog died, Avalon died, all in literally 8 seconds. Avril died. His Valerie entered invincibility twice and died, all in like 11 seconds. Like, I don't even have Rufio fielded on this side. Now, if I had Rufio, I would have started with Valerie, then Avril, and then Rufio John, and all of these like heroes and army and archers all dead in less than 10 seconds. So this was actually a lot slower than it would happen if I had a proper hero frontline how can I say, burst side. So the thing about what he had done is, I kind of, I suppose, understand what he wanted to do. It's just that the hero's front line made my entire army a lot more powerful because they gave me free morale boost. Free morale boost is like a luxury that you cannot give your enemy, because if the enemy has so many buffs, so many percentages, even in defenses, like if you would give my Rakan archers another 45% damage reduction when they already have like 55, 56, like they're basically friggin' tanks. So do keep that in mind, that something like this formation is really, really bad, and most people just cannot have a formation like this, especially as Rakan. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, you guys learned something new. Take care and stay safe out there.